Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving straight into Zambian music history, tracing the incredible career of a Copperbelt legend, Misheck M'hango.
Yeah, he's a key figure, singer, songwriter, amazing guitarist, really foundational for that Zamrock sound.
Absolutely. And his journey tells such a bigger story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About building a scene almost from scratch.
It really does. Misheck M'hango's path is, so typical of many self-taught Zambian musicians back then. Just pure ingenuity.
He had that amazing quote about learning rhythm from the mines.
Right. From pounding mine drills
Yeah.
and melody from the laughter of the compound. I mean, that just perfectly captures the whole Copperbelt vibe, the grit.
It really does. That mix of local sounds, rock influences, and just sheer toughness. So our mission today, we're focusing on two big things.
Okay.
First, how he went from playing folk on the street to leading electric bands. And second, this incredible story about a locally made guitar, the Garkru Mumbuli.
Ah, the Muli. Yes. Fantastic story. But let's start at the very beginning, right? Kalulushi.
Exactly, before the amps, before the big stages, just resourcefulness.
Pure resourcefulness. His first instrument, it wasn't something you'd buy in a shop.
Tell us about that, the homemade banjo.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
He built it himself, used an old oil tin for the body, for the sound box, and fishing line for strings. Can you imagine?
Incredible. Just making do with whatever was around.
Precisely. And he wasn't just messing about. He added harmonica, flute pretty early on, even borrowed tape recorders to actually hear himself play back his first songs.
That's real dedication, turning scrap into music like that. But then things shifted a bit when he went to Lusaka for university.
That was the turning point, yeah. Moving from totally self-taught to something more structured.
So at the University of Zambia, UNZA.
Right, he joined UNZA Talents. And this wasn't just some casual college jam session. This meant proper band practice, structured shows.
Playing actual gigs on campus, like Evelyn Hone, places like that.
Exactly. Evelyn Hone, NRDC, Chinama. These were real audiences, sophisticated listeners hungry for local music. It built discipline.
And visibility, too, I imagine.
Definitely visibility. But what really showed his growing confidence, I think, was the solo stuff he did alongside that.
Ah, right, on ZNBC.
Yeah, Mark Bote's folk music program, appearing solo on national radio.
Yeah.
That's a big step.
It shows he really believed in his own songs, separate from the band context.
Absolutely. He was ready to be seen as Misheck M'hango, the composer, the guitarist, and that confidence, plus his Copperbelt feel and love for R&B, set the stage for the electric years.
Okay, let's follow that electric path then, because he moved around quite a bit, didn't he? Didn't just stick with one band.
No, he was constantly absorbing influences. The electric journey really kicks off around 1990.
With Mixed Cut.
Mixed Cut of Kabwe, yeah. He played with Hishi Mambo there, a real veteran. That was like his road apprenticeship, you know? Sharpening his stagecraft, finding that guitar voice.
And he kept moving. By 94, he's in Kitwe.
Right, playing with the Claims, they used to be the Tinkles, and also doing gigs as front page.
Then came that interesting stint with the Sappers Band in Mufulira, Army-sponsored.
Yeah, that's a significant move. Joining an Army band often meant more stability, better gear, a certain level of professionalism. It wasn't uncommon.
So it was a sign he was seen as a reliable, professional musician.
Exactly. Consistent work, discipline, all that experience, the folk roots, the road work, the professional bands, it all kind of funnels into him starting his own project.
X-Virus, 1996.
X-Virus, still going today.
Great name. What's the story behind X-Virus?
Well, Misheck explained it himself. He said the music bug, that urge to create, it's like a virus viral, gets in your system.
I like that.
And the X, because you can't quite put your finger on it, can't name the feeling exactly, you just feel it.
That's perfect for Zamrock, isn't it?
Yeah.
All about feeling, not overthinking it.
Precisely. And it's important for people to understand what X-Virus is. They're not really about studio albums.
They're a live band.
Through and through, he always says, we are not a recording band, we live for shows. It's about that direct energy, that connection with the audience.
Keeping it authentic.
Totally. Today, it's a power trio setup. Misheck on guitar, vocals, flute, Limpo Suzia Mukumbuda on bass, and Wisdom Chomba driving it on drums.
That pursuit of a powerful, authentic sound also led him to a really iconic piece of gear, didn't it? starting a piano house.
Piano house. Yeah, the spot in Kitwe for musicians back in the day, 70s, 80s, into the 90s, founded by Mr. Garson and Mr. Kruger.
It was more than just a shop, right? Kind of a hub.
Oh, absolutely. Your supplier, your hangout.
Yeah.
Sometimes even a place for an impromptu jam.
And this is where Misheck walks in with a very specific, maybe unusual request for the time.
Exactly. He asks for a guitar with a whammy bar.
Okay, why was that such a big deal?
Well, you have to remember the context. The dominant sound locally was kalindula. Great music, very popular, but generally played on acoustics or clean electrics. No dive bombs, you know?
So asking for a whammy bar was basically asking for a rock guitar feature in a folk-dominated scene.
Pretty much. It signaled he was pushing for something heavier, more like the rock and blues guys he loved. The owner was apparently quite impressed.
Surprised even.
Yeah, Misheck said the owner remarked that everyone else was playing kalindula. This request stood out, showed ambition.
And didn't this lead to him actually playing right there in the shop?
It did. A spontaneous jam session kicked off, drew a bit of a crowd, apparently. The owner was so impressed with his playing, his passion.
That he gave him something.
Yeah, gifted him a proper, solid Fender guitar case, free of charge, like an endorsement, you know. Okay, kid, I see what you're doing.
That's a great story. But the real treasure to come out of that piano house connection was the guitar itself, the Garkru Magwili.
The Magwili, yes. Let's unpack that because it's such a cool piece of Zambian history.
So Garkru, that's the brand, from Garson and Kruger.
Right. Garkru is the brand, not just a model label. And this guitar, the Magwili, was built locally in Zambia.
Wow. What did it look like?
Physically, it was based on a Fender Stratocaster body shape, which is iconic, right? But interestingly, it had a Gibson-style headstock.
A hybrid. Fender body, Gibson headstock. Why mix them?
Good question. It likely came down to local adaptation. Maybe certain parts were easier to source or make. It shows resourcefulness, using what was available to create something unique. It wasn't just a copy, it was its own thing.
And the name, Willie,
means leopard in Bemba. So the Garkru leopard, how cool is that?
That's fantastic. The Garkru leopard.
And its significance is huge. It was one of the earliest examples we have of Zambian-made electric instruments really being used professionally, proof of homegrown skill.
A proper local competitor to the imported brands.
You got it. And Misheck played it hard.
I read he actually broke the whammy bar on stage.
Yep. He admitted he broke it once in a fit of excitement on stage. Tells you all you need to know about his performance energy.
Huh. Love it. And incredibly, some of that Garkru heritage is still with him.
It is. He still uses a Garkru speaker cabinet with X-Virus today. And he still owns the original fuzz phaser pedal.
The one that annoyed his neighbors.
That's the one. The pedal that annoyed my neighbors when I lived in the flats. That raw, fuzzy sound is the sound of early Misheck M'hango.
Amazing. So, connecting all this, Misheck isn't just a musician. He's become a kind of cultural caretaker. A walking archive.
That's a perfect description. He took preservation seriously way before it became a big topic. Another musician said you can ask Misheck about almost any old Zambian record or tape.
And he'll have it.
He'll pull it out, either in photos or physically. Think about how much music history, especially from Africa, got lost during format shifts, vinyl to cassette, cassette to digital. Things just disappeared.
Right.
Misheck consciously built his own archive. Instruments, tapes, posters, amps. It's like a private museum. That's incredibly important work.
It really is. Now, let's shift to the advice he gives. His thoughts on the creative process seem very direct, very authentic.
Yeah, it's all about listening to your inner voice. His core message is, listen to what is exploding in your head. That's the source.
Don't ignore that internal spark.
Exactly. Then, your job is to channel it as truly and as faithfully as you can. Be honest to that sound in your head.
And then comes the hard work.
Then comes the work. Understand the skills you need, guitar technique, songwriting, whatever, and practice relentlessly. And finally, maybe most importantly, remain true to your music. Everything else follows.
Stay authentic. It's a powerful advice. But he's also quite practical about the business of music, isn't he?
Oh, very clear-eyed. No romantic notions about starving for your art. He stresses that you need financial know-how.
Like what specifically?
Business plans, understanding cash flow, how to cost your gigs properly, how to set your prices. It's about professional respect for yourself and your work.
That point about costing and charging seems really crucial, maybe especially in that context, avoiding being ripped off.
Absolutely. It's about survival and sustainability. The music scene can be tough, informal. Artists can easily get taken advantage of if they don't value their own labor.
So what's his rule?
His rule is simple and firm. Make sure people pay to listen. Make calculations and set your price, else don't play. Treat it like a profession because it is one.
That's hard-won wisdom right there.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, his views on technology, especially AI, quite strong.
Very strong. He calls himself too old-fashioned, but it's more a philosophical stance. He completely rejects AI for the creative part, meaning for him, music has to come from human hands, human effort, human feeling. If it doesn't come from fingers, he basically says it's not the real thing for him.
So technology has its place, but only in production.
Exactly. Recording, editing, storing the music, fine. But generating the actual music, no, that has to be human. It's a powerful statement about authenticity today.
What a journey. From that oil tin banjo and Kalulushi, all the way to leading X-Virus today. Misheck M'hango's story is just pure persistence, faith, invention, keeping that Copperbelt rhythm alive.
He really embodies that spirit, and you can still experience it. His music, his performances, they're out there.
Where should people look?
His YouTube channel is a great place to start. Just search youtube.com at Misheck M'hango 9206, or find him on Facebook for updates on X-Virus shows and what he's up to.
Definitely check that out. Yeah. You know, our talk about the Gar Krumam Willie really makes you think how a piece of gear like that locally built leopard guitar can hold so much cultural meaning, so much local pride and ingenuity. It stood up against the big global brands right there on the Copperbelt stage. It makes you wonder, in today's world of mass production, what's the relationship now between that kind of raw local creativity and industry? What's the Bibbly equivalent being built near you today? Something to think about.